Okay, so you've probably seen my breath again. It's about 0 degrees today, so it's not too bad. Out with this Wingsland X1. Now, I don't think I've done anything with Wingsland before. It's a cool looking little drone here. Let me just pop my phone away. It's app controlled, that's why I've just got the phone. There's no transmitter with it at all. And it's sort of got built-in prop guards, although you can take them off. If you pop the props off, you can then just slide these off. But I'm going to fly it with, because this is what it's sort of aimed at. They fold away, so should be easier for transporting around, but the only thing is you still get your props sort of sticking out a bit. So, but I mean, it's still made it into a much smaller thing. And then when we actually pull these out, they actually, it actually becomes quite a big size, reasonable size quad. And you just make sure they slid down slightly. So they slide around, and then you just push them down like that. And that should give you good protection then. The props are really flexible anyway, so I don't think they'd actually damage anything, but I thought I'd just try it with them on, see how we get on. And there you are, sort of into a proper proper quad then. It's unusual battery system. It's well, it's not unique, but it is a bit different. It's got this sort of 3 connector here, like I've seen before on quite a few of them. It's 600 milliamp hour, and it's a single cell as well, so it's proprietary battery, and you have to have the battery on board and then charge it with this USB, and that's quite common with this sort of style. Or they have a USB adapter here, micro USB, sorry, it is in the back. You get the cable for that, so you can charge it with your power bank, you can charge it laptop or on the go, anywhere at all, and it just sort of sits in there, pushes it in. When you push it in, you get LEDs at the front, little blue ones as you saw there, and you have to sort of push it again for it to start, and then when it's sat down level, you'll get a green LED on here. It's got an optical flow system on it, and there's a little connector here, but I don't know what on earth that's for, and there's no paperwork on that at all. That's it, ready to go really. So I'm going to pop it down, I'm going to bind it to my phone. So pop your phone on first of all, and then put the quad on. Like I say, you just have to push it in and then hold it in basically, and then start to bind up, and then it seems to keep going. If you push it in and leave it, after a little while it just turns itself off. But I think it's a bit of a weird system. It hasn't got an on-off switch, or definitely a positive thing with the battery. The other thing it's got is you can tilt the camera as well, so you can tilt it up quite a bit, and they do call it a racer, I think, in the terms, but there's no way this is going to be a racer, I don't think. But I've been proved wrong before on other things, so yeah, I'm quite happy to be proved wrong. If it becomes a racer, it would be really cool. So go into your Wi-Fi settings, and what we do then is just going to push that in, so we get the flashing LEDs, put it down, there we go, and then we should come up with a Wingsland X1. And as you can see, we've got the green flashing LED underneath, so we are actually getting ready to bind. I'm just waiting for it to come up on the phone. There we go. So I did connect this up inside just to make sure it worked, and it has connected up automatically, as you can see there. That's good. So go back to your home page, and then you download the Wingsland X1 app, and it's Apple or Android. Apparently I've only got an Android, so I can't check it out on your Apple for you, but I'm sure it'll be exactly the same. And there we are, we're live. So yeah, that looks pretty lively, pretty good. You can hand launch. The app's quite simple actually. You just got a control at the top here and choose your rates here. Then if you go onto here, you can change it to mode 1 if you want to have the throttle on the right. This is set as mode 2, which means the throttle's on the right, you go up and down, makes the quad go up and down. When you push, this is your direction stick on the right here, so you push this forward, the quad will go forward, backwards, right and left, and then if you want to rotate the quad like that, you just use the left hand one, push it to the right or the left, and these aren't points of the compass, you can use any bits in between basically. If you go mode 2, then your throttle's on the right, so everything sort of changes over, sort of thing. And that's it really. There's no other sort of changes in there. I'm going to start it in low rate, and you've got camera and video controls here, so let's just pop this video on. So we're recording already. I don't know if you get any flashing LEDs with that. I don't know what that yellow bit is at the top either, it just came across the top there, but we'll see anyway. So, oh, it's gone off again. There we go, and then it gives you a tap to confirm that you want to take off. And then you don't get anything up. Woo! It goes up quite high. You don't get anything on the screen at all until you put your finger on it. Well, your thumb obviously. And then your dials come up wherever you've put it. So I sort of quite like that, but it's a little bit of a shock when you look at it and sort of think, whoa, what's going on? That's full pitch in low rates. I'm thinking unless it gets a real move on in high rates, we're not really going to get, you know, it's not going to be a racer, is it, by any means? Let's pop it up into intermediate. And the thing is, the screen goes off when you touch this, so it's quite a worry really when that sort of happens. There we go, that's intermediate. Even that's really lethargic. And you can see the way it kicks in and everything. It's got the optical flow, it's just picked up on the gravel there. Put the hand underneath. Whoops, you might be able to get it to follow you around, or if not, it sort of mucks up the sensors because your hand's got little lines on it and everything, so it'll move around sort of thing. Optical flow works about 30 feet, I think something like that, 10 meters they give away, so it's I'm going to put this up into high rates because this is really slow. That's a yaw, and then that's full pitch. Yeah, the optical flow's still working there, it's just locked off nicely. Just going to get myself in, just do a little bit of selfie there. There we go. So I'm going to stop the video. And then press that, photo saved it says. I mean, it's holding position really nicely. It is really cold today, by the way, so if it's I don't think we're going to get a lot of battery life out of it. It's only a little tiny battery anyway, 600 milliamp hours. So you can auto land with it, simply press this one and it will come into land, and it checks again, do you want it to come into land? So we've got to bring that down to land. I don't know if it'll land on my hand or not. Nope, it didn't like that, did it? There we go. So the other way, there's you can take off with your palm as well, so you can just pop it in your hand and then take off. There you go, palm take off. There we go, you just double press the screen and off you go. And then again, it's quite weird with nothing on the screen. You get a little bit panicky, I must admit. There is you can fly it with motion sensitive as well. So you just literally hold that one, and then the motion sensor on your phone works. So you literally holding my thumb down there. Hopefully you can see that. You get a little green dot there, and then I like this with the grandkids. They like this lot. You still rotate and everything. And I tell them to turn around with it as they're doing it as well. Actually flies quite nicely. I don't think you're going to get a lot of range with it, but the optical flow is really sort of picking up on the ground sort of thing. And if you take your thumb off, you don't get the control. So you have to hold your thumb down, and then your gyro on your phone is the way you're flying it. So pretty good. So let's turn that off. There, oh, you just press that to turn it off. Gee, it's so slow. I really don't even want to do a distance test on it because it's just so slow. Oh, no, I didn't turn it off. Obviously not. No, I've still got the exit. There's the button there. Yes, that's good. Right. Like I say, still not really that keen on doing a full range test because honestly, that's at full pitch. Sorry, I shouldn't really laugh, but I mean, come on. It is a selfie drone, yeah. That's 40 meters there, easy. Probably heading towards even 50. So there we go. Oh, the actual FPV's working all right. I definitely lined myself back up with a shot there. I actually wish it pointed down slightly rather than the lens will point upwards, sort of thing. But that is, it flies okay. It's got a flip button on it, so let's just have a look, see how we get on with that. God, this is so slow. I can't believe this is high rates. Okay, let's try this flip. Yep. Whoa. So you don't get any choice of what way it flips, it just flips over. And that's now gone off, so I'm down to 50% on the actual battery. So perhaps that's the fact that, you know, once it's at 50% it won't let you flip. That's not uncommon. I'm going to stop the video and actually then I'll restart it just in case we get anything, any corruption with it. Could you fly FPV? I think yeah, you possibly could actually. Let's see how I get on, shall I? See what I hit. Yeah, with the optical flow it's sort of a little bit juddery when you come to a halt. I'm not looking at the quad at all here, so I'm just trying to get it to go. Yeah, you could fly FPV. It's possible. Whoa! Yeah, you could. Just. Yeah, no, actually it works. Yeah, fair play to it. It does work. Yeah, not the best in the world, but hey, it's not bad actually. I've flown a lot worse, to be perfectly honest. Okay, you can obviously bring it in normally as well to come and land. Let me line myself up here. That's better. Couldn't actually see it up there, to be honest. Actually, quite a good flight length. I'm a little bit surprised by it, but my shoe's not exactly doing anything exciting. That's at full descent. Yes, you are at full descent. The optical flow should, yeah, see, it's not, it comes back more or less to its position, so it's not a GPS, because it's not using any satellites, so you could use this indoors, no problem at all. I'm not too sure what will happen. Oh, that's interesting. When you actually turn it round, it goes back to the position it was in, more or less. Yeah, really, yeah, that's where I want to be, that's where I'm going to go. And the height is good as well, so yeah, quite. Yeah, it really does. Sort of gets a hissy fit. Don't push me, son. It's actually pretty good. I just wish it had a bit more go in it, because I mean, this is on full pitch. The flight level battery is getting low. Land as soon as possible. 20% left in it. I'm going to leave it to. Oh, there you go. It's automatically doing it by itself. I'm going to stop the video. There we go. Oh, we're down to 10% on the battery. That is pretty low. Oh, we'll put a little meter across that and see how we get on. Okay, make sure you stop your recording before you actually unplug the quad, because you can corrupt the last bit of the video, and therefore you won't be able to play it back, which is a real shame sometimes, and has happened several times to me, sort of thing. Really slow and docile, but yeah, I suppose if you're brand new to flying, it could be pretty useful.
Okay, so what did I think of it? Well, just before I go into that, I just want to show you the box it came in. I'm sort of doing a reverse review here. I'm doing the unboxing at the end, but honestly, this box is super slick. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. You've got the X cut out there, and the one sort of in faded sort of shadow there, and then the Wingsland is nicely written as well. Then when you slide it apart, you sort of get the real designery feel here with the X1 again. Hopefully I'm just trying to get that so the camera will pick up some of the reflections there. Really smart looking. And then you open it up and it just goes into Tigger RC colours. So I mean, which a lot of them are adopting, and I could quite fully understand why. It just looks really awesome. You carry on down through it, and then you get to cardboard, which gets a little bit downgraded, and then a little bit of foam, and all the other stuff is stuck in there. But the other things that are in there, you get their little USB to micro USB cable, so you can charge it up. You get some decals, sort of stickers basically. It even tells you how to put them on, so you just put them down the front there, makes it look a lot slicker. Haven't really bothered with that, not really my thing, sticking those on. And then you get a complete spare set of props as well, so the normal sort of stuff. Oh, and a little instruction manual, which is actually very good. It does run through everything, so I'm quite impressed with that, and it's nicely done, and all in English as well, so whether or not if you're in another country they'd send a different one, I don't know. So onto the actual quad itself, and I like it. I like the idea of it and everything. I like this fact that it sort of all folds out. If it had the foldable props as well, which I've never seen on a quad this size, that would have made it really slick. But that might have been pushing the envelope a little bit. And the fact you can just sort of literally pop them down, push them down a wee bit, you can feel them sort of click into position there, and then you're ready to go. And it's really protected. A really nice little flyer. Very docile as far as I'm concerned, almost too docile. But I do fly a lot of different ones, so perhaps it's ideal if you're a beginner. I mean, that's what it's aimed at. I think it's sort of a designer beginner's quad, if you like. The fact it's got an optical flow system on it is pretty good, and while we've got it upside down, this little connector here that I could not work out what on earth it was, I actually looked it up on their website, went through the big manual that they've got, main manual, sorry, not the big one, and it's a connector for optional entertainment things. I forget what the term was. It was really flowery, and I have no idea what that is, and I have no idea what you plug into there to give you optional stuff, because you wouldn't be flying it tethered, and it sounded more like you were using the camera for, I don't know, a webcam or something or other. I really don't know, but yes, that's what that is there for. Why, I don't know, and they don't even explain what the optional things are on the website. So the lens, they say it points down 15 degrees. I don't think it does. And then they say it points up 15 degrees. I'd say it points more up than it does down. But yes, it moves a bit, sort of thing. I would have preferred it pointing down a wee bit more, but it doesn't, so that's the way it is. The battery, I found a little bit of a bug there, and I suppose you get used to it after a while. When you push it in, it basically turns it on for a little while. When you plug it in to charge, the lights then change. It knows that it's charging, but when it's finished charging, you don't like turn it off or anything. It just stops flashing, so you know it's fully charged, but you can just unplug it and it won't come back to life till you take the battery out and put it back in. So I would have really preferred an on-off switch, then you know what you're doing, because as soon as you put it in, you sort of, everything starts up, and you can't transport it without, but you seem to have to sort of push it in, click this up, and then it will sort of all fire up. After a while they'll go off, and then the little green one underneath comes on, but you can't see that, and it's, oh, I don't know, the battery's really low, by the way, so it has gone totally off, so that's why I just would like an on-off switch, so you know exactly what you're doing. But that's just me. So like I say, I think it's quite a designery sort of thing. You pop the props off, and then you can pop the prop guards off. You probably get a little bit longer flight, but 7 minutes, I was pretty impressed with that for what it is. I mean, a lot of these quads only fly 3 or 4 minutes, some fly more obviously, but I thought 7 minutes was good, and I did loads of flights with it. I've had quite a bit of fun with it actually. I just wish it went a bit faster, and in low rates it's almost not even moving. Even on the ones, the indoor one that I'm running now, to show you, it's so slow, it's like never going to get to the end of the room, let alone anything else. But I suppose in a small area it would be fine. The optical flow worked really well outside over loads of different surfaces, and it worked really well indoors as well, so I'm impressed with that. The actual app itself was good. I liked it actually. It's not too confused with lots of different things going on. The only thing I didn't show, and I meant to show it, was there's a little button down here, and it won't come on until the quad's actually bound up to it. I don't think we've got anywhere near enough power in it to actually connect it up. But there's a button down here that takes time lapse, so it shoots video, but it shoots a shot every 3 seconds. I have no idea why you would put it on there, and that's why I didn't show it on the review. Yeah, sorry, but that was the only thing I think I missed on the whole app itself. It is a good app. It did work. What was that, 50 odd meters away, and it was still working fine. And it could fly on FPV as well. Now that's quite unusual of sort of low grade quads. Saying low grade, it's about 70 quid, and I'll put any discounts I can find down in description for you. So, but the retail is about 75. I think that was the cheapest I could find it, and that was a Gearbest who happened to actually supply it to me. But there's other ones that are charging even more, getting on towards 100 quid for it. It does seem a little bit expensive, I think, but then, you know, it is quite a designery design, I suppose. Another thing that really annoyed me, apart from the battery, was the fact they used the word racer. This is never a racer, not even near a racer. I mean, I don't know anything that goes as slow as this, to be perfectly honest, of this size. But that's good, I suppose, if you're learning, and the optical flow works well. So perhaps it's got an altitude hold was good on it. So perhaps all those things make up for the fact that it is a controllable, slow-moving quad, which is fine. Now, the other thing that I quite liked about it, and I was quite surprised at it, was the actual video quality. I didn't think it was going to be that good, and it is very small. It's 640 by 368, which is a very weird format. I actually thought, for what it is, I don't want people shouting at the screen saying it's not HD or whatever, but for what it is, even when you pulled it up to full screen, it was very good for what it is. For a 640 one, the 640-480 is the normal one, the 4:3 ratio. Those ones, whenever you pull them up to full screen, you can just see clumps of, you know, colour, where this actually coped really well. So I think, again, that's probably reflected in the price you're paying, that the video is better than a normal sort of VGA quality video. So all in all, as per normal, I can't spend your hard-earned cash for you. There's lots of quads out there for this sort of price. I've reviewed a lot of quads under this price and over this price, so take a look around the channel. But I mean, if this is something that you're really after, optical flow, really good control, pretty good range as well, you know, I mean 50-60 meters I would say absolutely fine on it, no problem at all, and this is the sort of thing you're after, then maybe it's worth that money. If not, there's loads else around the channel that you could go and have a look at. So I'm glad you joined me on this flight, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.